Hi, investors. This is Professor Steve again. Back to our last fourth video in the series, subtitled Retirement Planning for Dummies. We have recorded three other videos to date. First video tried to target where you are with your accounts, what are your assets, liabilities, kind of identify that. Second video was targeting where do you want to be. In other words, plan on what your resources might be at retirement, where you might want to be, where the cost of living might want to be. Three, kind of calculate your gaps. And today we want to fill in those gaps. We want to show you the mathematical tools which you could determine how much you might need today to start saving today and each month or each quarter or each year, depending on your assumption kind of going forward. The video present the tools to utilize what additional savings, if you need any, if you will, based on their goals, based on what you'd like to achieve, not necessarily your advisor, myself, or anybody else. If this is all structured around you being empowered to have control. You control what your assumptions are, you control the mathematics, and you can control the variability. You can also look at various scenarios there. But again, it's what you want and what rate of returns you're going to assume, not what somebody else out there who may have a vested interest in getting more commissions off of that. You'll be given the tools so that you could put in what you think the historical averages are. And again, our series, what we're trying to target here, will identify how some of these reporting numbers out there are incredibly false, that some of the industry is pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. You can also, though, design this program to be a worst case scenario from your point of view. Again, you modify to see what happens to your account. And in the parlay or in the business world, this is what's referred to as sensitivity analysis. Again, the goal of these series is to empower people so that you can actually do the math tools to evaluate your scenario, where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there. We also try and provide suggested paths, and then try and look at some email response from you to see what you like, what you didn't like, and what you like kind of going forward. So our last little program here is trying to target about filling those gaps. Again, we asked in video one for you to provide your assets with your financial accounts. The second one is both where do you want to be from a physical standpoint, but again, what's the dollar amount you want to retire on? What is there? What are the gaps we did in video 3? Now we want to fill those gaps. And if you recall, we kind of came up with a gap of a little under $1,000 that we needed on a monthly basis, $884 to be exact. Now there's two math questions that need to be answered with the assumptions. How much money has to be in an account to cover $884 kind of going forward? Now, one of the assumptions with that is, do you want to live on the interest only, or can that account be drained over time, and then how long will it be until it's drained? And then what is the rate of return you want to use on these types of accounts? Your second assumption is, what is the rate of return that you want to put on these savings between now and the time that this account gets to that particular value? Now, the other variable is, how much time do we have until you retire? Now, that could be, let's say, 15 years, or it could be 16, or you can actually extend that out because particularly this model might show you that you can't retire in 15 years. It might be 16 or 17. Excuse me. That is an assumption that you have to make. So what we want to do is provide some of those assumptions here. We're going to be looking at an account that has interest only. We're going to still target this dollar amount because we're kind of keeping that the same. Our interest rate is going to be fairly conservative. We're going to project out that CDs will earn us 4% in 15 years. That's going to be fairly conservative on that. But we're also going to be a little bit aggressive in saying we've got 15 years until retirement, but the rate on our retirement accounts might be 7%. In other words, over time, in the next 15 years, we're going to take a little bit more risk in our account to try and get a little higher return. Again, what your assumptions are up to you. How much risk you want to take, that's up to you. That's additional conversations we want to have if we get to our website development. There's a lot of discussion about that, but let's just worry about the numbers right now. We're not worried about the assumptions behind the numbers, just the numbers themselves. In this particular manner, we kind of work backwards. To have $884 a month available to us from an account that pays 4%, we have to have $265,000 in that account. If we want to do the math real quick, I could show you online. So we want that, divided by, or I'm sorry, let me do it the other way around. We're going to do this dollar amount times 4%. This is how easy Excel can work, and you'll see that it kind of comes out to being about $10,000 a year. If we take that dollar amount and divide it by 12, you'll see it comes out to be $884. So we actually backed into it another way, but we can reprove that. So in other words, we need to have an additional $265,000 in an account, and we need to save and have that account grow to this amount over time. So again, we're just repeating that amount here. This is our calculation of how we get there from here. We're going to have 15 years, a number of years to save. We're going to have an annual rate on all this portfolio of 7%. So we can now calculate our monthly savings to be $836. Again, we do have a math tool here in Excel. It's a financial function. And again, we do not have enough time to kind of go into this. But in essence, we can kind of calculate it here. And I'll recalculate it again for you to show you how easy this can be. Our interest rate is 7%. We're going to be doing it on a monthly basis. We need to adjust it on a month basis. We have 15 years, but we're actually going to be saving on a month, so it's going to be 180 months. We want to achieve this dollar amount in the future, and again, that says we need $836.77 saved each month, earning at a 7% annual rate to get us to our goal. Not bogged down with the dollar amounts, not bogged down with anything. What we do want to show, though, is that this is a tool that you can use with your assumptions. And of course, if you had 20 years, then you need to have less money you need to have in there. If it has 10 years, then you need to have put more money on a monthly basis. A couple of notes with this particular scenario that we just did. The fact that we have a gap of 884 and we come up to a number that we need to save for 15 years of 836, these are all answers from the model itself. Do not conclude that this is their numbers are similar. It's just how the math works out. If we change the interest rate, change the number of period, those numbers will be much different. So don't assume that if your gap is this, that's what you need to save per month now. I also did not include any contributions to existing accounts. For example, I took the initial assumption is taking a 401k and projecting it forward. If your employer is actually contributing more to it, that could actually reduce the amount that you need to put into your monthly savings outside of these accounts. So kind of keep that in mind. Any contributions that are made to other accounts can reduce the $836 that you need. So the idea is that we want you to understand, eventually learn these math tools and how easy it is that you can modify this, even update it a year from now when you have 1 year less time to get to retirement. So kind of getting back to that, and from the standpoint of looking at what to do next, again, look, determine what your investment funds are available today in your current budgets. If the steady increase in investable funds can fill your retirement gap, monitor your accounts on a regular basis. However, if you do have a gap, change your retirement plans. That's one alternative. Or modify your current budget to carve out more savings. You could revise your savings plan on a regular basis. Obviously, there's more that can be done than these two items mentioned, but you have the tool to measure, for example, what the ability to contribute 1% more of your take-home pay to a 401k and how this will benefit you over time. So our initial discussion on our first video was what would $100 do? Now you can actually have the tools to do that. Another example might be take a part-time job with all the net income being saved into that retirement account. You can now determine how many Saturdays, assuming your part-time job's on a Saturday, you might need to catch up with your retirement account. Again, looking for interest in developing a website to fully go into this. 4 videos, 10 minutes or less each is not enough. So please provide feedback and tell us what is good, what is bad. These are very, very rough. I realize that. I'm trying to put as much as I can, and sometimes I feel like I'm talking too fast, but let me know what can be done kind of going forward. Good luck, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.